See today what begging is like in Dubai, knowing how much you earn and whether it is a crime to do this type of practice, and see if it is worth begging in Dubai. Learn more about Dubai itself, seeing all about work options and the richness of the place, as well as its history and economic importance. With this, you can understand a little more about earnings and values in this region and how you can take advantage of them. A man who pretends to be homeless says he earns more money begging on the streets of London than working a conventional job. Once, the Briton even received €695 in a single day, just for sleeping on the street during the day. This man's case is one of several exposed by the program, 60 Days on the Street, on the Channel 4 television channel. Journalist Ed Stafford decided to spend a few nights on the streets of Manchester, London and Glasgow, in order to better understand the world of the country's homeless. But what was his astonishment when he realized that there are several people who pretend to be homeless, leaving their homes every day to beg on the street. Throughout the various episodes of the programs, the reporter reveals various life stories of the beggars he meets, and who explain some of the techniques used to survive in the cold streets of the United Kingdom. That Dubai is a rich city you should already know. Now, what few people know is that the beggars who live there make a real fortune begging for money on the streets. Begging there is such a lucrative business that people enter the UAE legally on a 3-month tourist visa, only to leave with deep pockets. These professional beggars, as they are called, usually withdraw more than 235,000 Brazilian reals per month, which is much more than most jobs receive per year anywhere in the world. Local reports made on these professionals suggest that they have been taking advantage of the gullibility and generosity of Dubai's wealthy citizens for the past 3 years. However, despite the police's best efforts to eradicate the practice, the phenomenon is still widespread. It is believed that there are now even Arab and Asian gangs that bring beggars to Dubai legally and use them to make money. The problem, however, is that begging is generally illegal in Dubai. Soon, people who do need to put together a whole scheme before going around asking for money. For starters, they must dress well and create an exciting and compelling story, which usually involves families or people fleeing war in their country. However, what is most curious among these professional beggars is that they are not satisfied with 10 dirham or DH100 notes. They convince people with their stories and win their sympathies, Dubai resident Nawal al-Nakbi told the Khaleej Times. I used to give money in the beginning. Later I realized that it had become a phenomenon and so I ignored their stories. For a year local authorities have been running campaigns against these people, especially after discovering the amount of money they usually get from the rich. In 2016, for example, the police apprehended a beggar who was making more than 860,000 Brazilian reals a month. It turned out that he was in the city as a tourist and on a valid 3-month visa. We found out that the beggar earned an average of almost 7,000 Brazilian reals a day. But we believe that more money was collected, especially when going to ask in front of the mosques, said Faisal al-Badiawi, head of the markets section in the municipality. Some of the beggars were carrying passports issued with business or tourist visas. We found that most of them entered the country legally on a 3-month visa in order to get as much money as they could during their stay, added al-Badiawi. 2017 was a particularly good year for this branch of business, as Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan designated this to be the year of giving. However, around 65 professional beggars were arrested in the very first days of Ramadan, along with gang members working behind the scenes. To try to contain the problem, the police set up a hotline for reporting and warned people to avoid showing sympathy for the stories, lest they risk opening their wallets. One of the biggest challenges faced by the authorities is to identify who really is a beggar in the city. We have increased Sanad's patrols in various parts of the Emirates to arrest the beggars, but the biggest challenge is the difficulty of recognizing them, said one of the police officers. It is very difficult to identify them because they are well dressed and intelligent. People who are arrested begging in Dubai or other cities in the United Arab Emirates are reserved for imprisonment and deportation. However, given the apparent chance of making a lot of money in a single month, they simply cannot resist taking risks. Is it a crime to be a beggar in Dubai? It is technically not a crime to beg in Dubai, as there is no charge that separates a professional beggar from a real beggar. But the Emirates are an authoritarian country, so once they feel harmed, they can take measures against the person doing such practices. Are there poor people in Dubai? There are poor people everywhere, Dubai is no different, but overall the quality of life is pretty good there. The problem is that to maintain this quality standard it actively depends on extractions in other regions and other countries, which makes the exorbitant wealth not one of the most meritocratic. How to work in Dubai. The person must have a work visa or nationality of the Emirates, thus being able to carry out commercial activities. It can also be used in services, although the city of Dubai is not strong in industrial production. Would you rather be a beggar in Dubai? Or in the United States? Tell me in the comments. Also say if you liked today's video, and you can suggest themes that I can present on the channel.